Welcome to this explainer. I am so excited to get into this one today because we are looking at a truly wild scenario. Imagine, just for a second, the sheer, crushing geopolitical pressure of inheriting an empire at its absolute undisputed zenith. You're stepping into the shoes of a literal legend. I mean, your predecessor has crushed foreign enemies, unified massive territories, and basically elevated your dynasty to absolute glory. Where on earth do you go from there? Today, we're exploring exactly what happens in that scenario by looking at the Satavahana Dynasty. We'll be focusing really heavily on how one leader managed a monumental transition in administration, totally secured his family's legacy, and completely redefined his empire's future. Okay, let's dive into this striking contrast. It's honestly night and day. On one side, we have the legendary Gautamiputra Satakarni, a ruler whose entire legacy was forged in the fires of military conquest. He was the warrior who famously crushed the foreign Shakas. But then, on the other side, we have his son and successor, Vasistiputra Pulumavi. And this is where the story gets incredible. Because instead of trying to mimic his father's relentless military campaigns, Pulumavi initiates a revolutionary pivot in his administration. He trades the battlefield for the negotiating table and the war chariot for the merchant ship. We are looking at a complete, top-down overhaul from military expansion to diplomacy and trade. Section 1. Inheriting a legendary empire. It's the ultimate heavy crown motif, stepping into the shoes of a legendary conqueror. Now, the psychological weight of this transition really cannot be overstated. Pulumavi wasn't just taking over a government, he was taking over a towering family legacy carrying immense expectations. Every single decision he made was going to be compared to his father's golden age. So, to handle this pressure, the Satavahanas leaned heavily into family ties. We see this brilliantly in their matronymic tradition. This was a fascinating system where kings proudly carried their mother's name to solidify their legitimacy. It wasn't just about the father's glory, right? The mother's lineage was absolutely crucial to the royal family's power. That's exactly why he is known as Vasistiputra Pulumavi, which literally translates to the son of Queen Vasisti. His very name was a constant public reminder of his unshakable family ties. And, it wasn't just his mother who played a crucial role here. His grandmother stepped up beautifully, too. Take a look at the famous Nashik Prashasti. This was a monumental inscription commissioned by his grandmother, Gautamiputra, during the 19th year of Pulumavi's reign. This beautifully documented piece of history wasn't just the simple family tree. No way. It was a highly calculated political statement. It praised his father, sure, but its real strategic purpose was to absolutely lock in Pulumavi's status as the rightful heir. It really highlights how deeply intertwined family legacy was with the actual security of the state. Section 2. The Shaka Resurgence Crisis. The new administration is about to face some immediate, brutal trials. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer narrative tension it creates. Because as perfectly as his family tried to set him up for success, the world had other plans. Pulumavi faced an immediate, existential threat. The Shakas, the very foreign power his father had supposedly crushed, were back, and they were launching a massive resurgence from Ujjain under a brilliant new ruler named Rudradaman I. Notice the blatant hostility of his boast in the Junagadh inscription. "Twice I defeated the Lord of the Deccan." Most historians agree that the Lord of the Deccan he's mocking here is our guy, Pulumavi. This is a direct, terrifying threat to the Satavahana core. Rudradaman was basically kicking down the door of the empire. Section 3. A masterclass in diplomacy. Instead of a devastating war, Pulumavi chooses a radically different path. So the crucial point is how he actually handled this ultimate leadership challenge. The natural instinct, especially when you're trying to protect a military conqueror's legacy, would be to throw everything into a total war. But Pulumavi knew that would completely destroy the empire from the inside out. So here is his genius two-part administrative realignment. Step 1, he pivots entirely to diplomacy and forms a strategic matrimonial alliance by actually marrying Rudradaman's daughter. He literally marries into his greatest rival's family to neutralize the northern threat. Step 2, to physically protect his realm, he shifts the primary capital eastward to Dhanyakataka. Together, these two moves flat out save the kingdom. Section 4. Shifting the administration eastward, moving the power base away from the volatile border. Think about modern concepts of strategic realignment for a second. Moving an entire imperial capital is a massive undertaking, but it was absolutely vital. Pulumavi realized the northwest border was just too much of a powder keg. Staying there meant constant military high alert. By shifting to Dhanyakataka, modern-day Dhanyakota in Andhra Pradesh, he completely changed the playing field. This became the very first Satavahana power base in the eastern Deccan, deep in the fertile Krishna and Godavari river valleys. He strategically pulled his administration out of the line of fire and planted it in incredibly resource-rich, secure territory. Section 5. The Maritime Golden Age. The administrative shift catalyzes a massive economic boom. Let's move to and see how this builds into something spectacular. This geographic shift wasn't just some defensive retreat, it was an economic catalyst. By focusing his government on the eastern coast, Pulumavi triggered a booming maritime trade industry. The dynasty transformed from a land-based military power into a staggering economic powerhouse. And they weren't just trading locally. These new trade routes were reaching all the way to Rome in the west and expanding deep into Southeast Asia in the east. He essentially turned his kingdom into a massive global trade hub. And this brilliantly illustrates that exact shift. We have these unique lead coins from Pulumavi's reign that actually depict two-masted Indian ships. Listen, an empire doesn't just casually put ships on its official currency unless maritime trade has become the absolute lifeblood of its economy. It's undeniable, vivid artifact evidence that proves his administration's intense, successful focus on the sea. Which brings us to a final, provocative thought. When inheriting a monumental family legacy, is it braver to swing the sword or to build a ship? Vasistiputra Pulumavi could have easily destroyed his empire trying to be the military conqueror his father was. Instead, through brilliant administration, strategic family alliances, and a visionary pivot to maritime trade, he ensured the Satavahana flame didn't burn out. He just taught it how to sail. I really hope this explainer gave you a new appreciation for the power of a well-executed administrative pivot. Keep wondering, keep learning, and we'll catch you next time.